What's up, everybody? I'm glad to be back, especially because now the NFL kicks off tonight with week one of the 2022 to 2023 season, and I can't wait. I'm going to give you all my week one picks in episode 123 of the Idiotic Sports Talk. So let's get this show on the road. Let's start with the Thursday night game, the Buffalo Bills facing the Los Angeles Rams. So now the Buffalo Bills, I've been seeing Vegas favoring them to win the Super Bowl. And as for the Rams, they're the current Super Bowl champs. The Bills have a really talented roster, and adding a guy like Von Miller to the defensive side, who was a former Ram last year, is really big for them. And as for the Rams, the rich got richer as they added wide receiver Allen Robinson and linebacker Bobby Wagner in this offseason. So, it's going to be big game. This could be a Super Bowl preview, but I am going to roll with the Rams here because I just feel like they're back at home. They're fresh off a Super Bowl win, and they're super pumped right now. The crowd's going to get into it. So give me the Rams to win here, 27-24. And as we look into the Sunday games, we got the Eagles taking on the Lions. Now, even though I can't stand the Eagles, I have to admit, they definitely made some great roster updates on both sides of the ball. They added A.J. Brown from the Titans for the receiver position, and they drafted a lot of good defensive studs. They also got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, the safety from the Saints, and they also got James Bradbury, the former corner of the Giants. Now, as for the Lions, they're just trying to find something in the right path. Last year, they weren't that great record-wise, but in the games, they only lost like a few games where they completely got blown out. Pretty much every game, they were close. It was down to the wire. Just things couldn't go their way. You guys know I don't like the Eagles. It's nothing new. So give me the Lions here, 24-21. Next is the 49ers taking on the Bears. So the Niners are going with the young gun, Trey Lance. They still have Jimmy G, but he's not the starter. And Kyle Shanahan trusts Trey Lance. They have a lot built around him, the defense, offensive line, running backs, receivers, tight ends. So he's got a lot, unlike the guy Justin Fields or the Bears. The Bears just set him up for failure. He really has no one to help him. He's looked better this past preseason, but I just don't think it's enough to really help him out. The Bears just really are setting him up for failure. So give me the Niners to win this one, 33-13. Next is the Steelers taking on the Bengals. So the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger retired at quarterback. Now they got Mitch Trubisky coming in. They drafted a young kid, Kenny Pickett, and they're just trying to see who their quarterback can be this year. Maybe they can make a run in the playoffs. They have a good defense. They have a good wide receiver core, good running back, but they don't have a good offensive line, and their quarterback is kind of shaky. So they're just trying to test things out against the Bengals, who the Bengals lost the Super Bowl last year. And it was mainly because their offensive line was just getting beat up badly. And they made offensive line improvements this offseason. So I expect the Bengals to be back in the mix of it. Give me the Bengals here, 28-17. Next is the Patriots taking on the Dolphins. So the Patriots didn't really do too much last season. And, they made the playoffs. But this offseason, they didn't do much. And they didn't do much last offseason either. And they still made the playoffs and were a tough team to face. And you have the Dolphins, who made a lot of upgrades. They got Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs. They got, who else? They got Raheem Mostert in the backfield. They made a lot of good offseason moves. It's just going to come down to Tua Tagovailoa. How's he going to play? Is he going to make that next step to elevate his team and get them to the playoffs? Because every year they've been decent. They were 9-8 last year, and they just couldn't get it done to get that wild card spot. But I do like the Dolphins to win this one in a close game. I'm going to go 23-20. I know the Patriots and Dolphins usually split every year, and the Patriots always struggle in Miami, and that's where the game will be. Next is the Browns taking on the Panthers. This is going to be a good one in my opinion because the Browns got rid of quarterback Baker Mayfield. They traded him to the Panthers. So this is going to be a revenge game for Baker Mayfield, honestly. He's going to go all out, I think, and really stick it to the Browns. The Browns are going to have Jacoby Brissett at quarterback because Deshaun Watson is suspended for 10 games. And I feel like the Browns right now, with all the distractions they had going on with that Watson incident, the Panthers are definitely going to be more focused, more ready, especially Baker Mayfield. And he's getting a healthy Christian McCaffrey back. He's getting DJ Moore. So he's going to have some weapons. So I do like the Panthers to win this one here, 26-21. Next is the Colts taking on the Texans. So the Colts were able to get former Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan, and they pretty much just had him for the Wentz replacement because the Wentz experiment was a failure. So they're positive. They're really confident in Matt Ryan. They really just needed a quarterback, and they believe Matt Ryan's that guy. They still have one of the best running backs in the league with Jonathan Taylor, and their defense is pretty good too. And they're taking on the Texans team that really has no hope, that really seems like they're not going anywhere. I do like the quarterback rookie, or he was a rookie last year, but Davis Mills, second year, I could see him having a pretty solid season, but he doesn't have much to work with. So give me the Colts to win this one, 27-10. Next is the Saints taking on the Falcons. The Saints are coming back. Sean Payton's not going to be there as the coach, so they have Dennis Allen instead. And they have a bunch of weapons. They have a healthy Jameis Winston coming back. Kamara's good. He's not getting a suspension for a fight he got in the offseason. Michael Thomas is going to be healthy. They signed Jarvis Landry. They drafted Chris Olave, who's another good receiver, and they have a really stout defense. And they're facing a Falcons team that doesn't really have a direction. They have Mariota. They just signed him as quarterback, and they don't really have a direction, though. Like, they have Kyle Pitts, great tight end. They have, who else do they have at receiver? I can't even think right now, but Calvin Ridley's suspended, so it's like they don't really have much going. So I see the Saints taking this one 27-16. Next is the Ravens taking on the Jets. So Lamar is trying to get paid, and I believe he's going to have a great year because I think he deserves to get paid. He's been great every year. He's been phenomenal. He's an MVP. He's never missed the playoffs in his career. Last year they missed, but he was hurt, so that was a little bit of a different story. But it just goes to show how valuable he was to the Ravens. When he was hurt, they didn't win a single game when he was gone. You know, I think they went 0 for 5 when they were 8 for 3, and then they missed the playoffs. So having Lamar back is going to be big. Having that defense back is going to be big too. The defense is going to be healthy. Last year, they also were very injured and were signing guys off the street. And they're taking on a Jets team who's not going to have Zach Wilson because he got hurt. They're going to have Joe Flacco, who is the former Raven. This could be a revenge game for Joe Flacco against his former team. I just don't see it, but I do like what the Jets did in the offseason with how they drafted and with how they acquired some free agents. And they're definitely seems like they're going on the right path in the near future. So give me the Ravens to win this one 35-14. Next is the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Washington Commanders. So everyone knows I don't like the Commanders. They were the Redskins, then they were the football team. Now that they finally got a name in their Commanders. And they have Carson Wentz at quarterback, who not a lot of people are sold on. The Jaguars have Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence, you know, had a rough year last year. He didn't really have a lot of help, and this year they got out and spent a lot of money in free agency. So we'll see what could happen. I don't like Washington, so I'm taking the Jaguars to win 17-14. Next is the Packers taking on the Vikings. So the Packers, they still have Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback, but they lost Devontae Adams, and Rodgers has even called out his young receivers, saying that they're not stepping up, they're not making plays, they're dropping easy catches. So he's hard on his receivers, but maybe it's like a good thing that he is. Maybe that gets them in shape and gets them ready to go. But as for the Vikings, they have solid receivers with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. KJ Osborne's another guy who's a sleeper who you got to look out for. And Kirk Cousins, he could really make some noise this year. We'll see if he's ready to take that next leap. I do like the Vikings to win this one 31-28. Next is the Giants taking on the Titans. So the Giants are getting Saquon Barkley back, and it's a shame because he had such traumatic injuries in his earlier career where we'll see how he performs when he's back. And not a lot of people are sold on the QB, Daniel Jones. He's a turnover machine, and I think this could be his last year if he doesn't step it up. And they're facing a Titans team who's going to have Derrick Henry. He's a monster, and I just don't see the Giants defense being able to stop that man. So I do like the Titans to win this one here by the score of 25-9. Next is the Raiders taking on the Chargers. This game is going to be an absolute banger. The Raiders, they signed Devontae Adams. They have Hunter Renfrow. They have Darren Waller. They have a plethora of weapons for them. And as for the Chargers, they made moves on the defense. They got Khalil Mack, and then they got the cornerback J.C. Jackson from New England. And last year, that was the Chargers' downfall, was their defense. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't get off the field. They have an amazing offense, though. I'm honestly going to pick Justin Herbert to win MVP. And the Chargers could be the dark horse to win the Super Bowl. I do like the Chargers to win this one 35-30. Next is the Chiefs taking on the Cardinals. This is going to be another good game. Two high-flying offenses, if you will. The Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill, but they still have Travis Kelce at tight end to catch, and they signed Juju Smith-Schuster from the Steelers, which I thought was an underrated signing, and they still have Mahomes, who I think is the best quarterback in the league until proven otherwise. So they still have it together. They've won the division, I think, 6 or 7 years in a row. Andy Reid's a great coach, so it's like he'll figure out whatever happens, no matter what. Like, if they lose a guy, they have someone to replace him. And as for the Cardinals, there's a lot of offseason drama with Kyler Murray, his new contract, not getting a contract, his contract where he'd be forced to study, and then he doesn't have to study. DeAndre Hopkins getting suspended for I think it was PEDs, not too sure. So there's a lot of offseason drama for the Cardinals. I think it could throw them off. I mean, these are all pro athletes. They know how to deal with adversity. But I just feel like it's a tough matchup for the Chiefs. I'm sorry, for the Cardinals in Week 1 going up against the Chiefs. So I do like the Chiefs here, 30-20. Next is the final Sunday night game. It's the Bucks taking on my Cowboys. So the Buccaneers, they have Tom Brady, obviously the best quarterback all time. And what's wrong with the Bucks, though, is that they don't have their offensive line healthy. A lot of their starters are hurt. One of their starters retired. And the Cowboys, if you watched them last year, their defense was real strong. It was the anchor of the team, in my opinion. And I think they're going to get after Tom Brady and hit him a few times, make him frustrated. And Dak Prescott, he's going to be back. He's going to be healthy also. He has CeeDee Lamb. They lost to Amari Cooper. They lost a couple other guys, but he has CeeDee Lamb to throw to. He has tight end Dalton Schultz, who's a borderline top 5 tight end in the league. They still have the running back duo of Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard that they have to use. But I feel like the defense is really going to show out, hit Brady a lot, hit him early, and get him frustrated. So I like the Cowboys here, 34-31. The final game of the week is the Monday Night Football game. The Denver Broncos take on the Seattle Seahawks. So the Denver Broncos traded about 5 first-round picks, I believe, for Russell Wilson from the Seahawks. So Russell Wilson is now in the Broncos, and he's going back home where he was from Seattle, where he won a Super Bowl at, where he had major success in his career. And he's going to be taking on his former team, and I see this as a revenge game for Russ. The Seahawks, they're just a quarterback away. I mean, they still have solid receivers with Metcalf and Lockett. Rashad Penny, is a solid running back too. Their defense looked like they improved a little bit, but their offensive line and their quarterback issue, it's like that's what's going to hold the team back. They have Geno Smith and Drew Lock, and I like Geno Smith, but I just don't think, he's asking to do a lot this year, and basically I just don't think the Seahawks are going to be that competitive. I could be wrong. We'll see. But I just like the Broncos to win this one here. I'm going to go 28-14 for the Broncos winning. And that's all for my Week 1 picks. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on my Instagram. Do what you can to like, share, and promote my page. Thank you all, and have a wonderful day.